This video is now brought to you by one of my other kids who hasn't got a $20 donation yet and is jealous that the other two got a donation, and Ashley got two $20 donations, which I knew would happen. So a can of worms has now been opened up, and I now must present to you my third daughter, Emily. A bank's about to bite the dust. A bank's about to bite the dust. And another bank down, and another bank down. A bank's about to bite the dust. All right, good enough. See what you guys started? You have no idea. I look at my phone and check my mail. $20 donation came in, PayPal. This one's for your little girl holding the American flag. The second one. Ashley, you now have $40 in your little purse. Of course, just to tell everybody. Emily comes down. I haven't got one yet. I didn't do one. I didn't do one yet. All right, let's do a video for Emily now. You guys have no idea what you just unleashed. Okay. On to the video. Wolfstreet.com. I just told you about this bank. You can put Italy in there. Again, it's the Spanish bank I was telling you about. They've cooked the book so bad. There may be an offer by one or two other big banks to try to buy out what's left of this, carcass of this bank. But they've got to look at the books and figure out what assets, liability. Like, we got to know these things, right? You don't just buy a business without knowing these things. You don't take one over either without knowing these things. And nobody can figure out what is what. The books have been cooked so bad. So, over at Wall Street, Don Quejones says, shockwaves spread from Spain's new banking crisis. Has the time finally come to test the European Union's bail-in law? Right? Not bail out, bail in. Bail in meaning account holders with certain numbers of money in their account above a certain amount. You just bought in at the bank. And I think in some of these instances, like maybe this one, we're going to give you shares above and beyond that magical number in your account. You used to have money in, we took. You're now an owner in the bank. But you're probably not one of the big time shareholders. You're not going to be sitting as a member of the board. So the fraud and corruption that will continue and the book cooking that will continue, whether new management comes or not, you're just going to have to deal with and hope that they do something good for once and the share prices actually go up now that you've gotten in it. If that's even the case. But here we go. Once again, Banco Popular. So yeah, anyways, let's see what we got here. Dead men walking banks. Once again, EU zone. Unbelievable. The shares of Spain's sixth largest bank, Banco Popular, plunged 36% this week to 43 cents, reducing the bank's market capitalization to $1.7 billion. Just 3 weeks ago, when there was still a glimmer of hope that things could be turned around, it was worth almost double that. Its shares traded at 10 years ago. Not cents, like 43 cents, but actually dollars, or in this case, I guess euros, before the collapse of Spain's mind-boggling housing bubble that left Popular holding billions of euros of real estate assets. Popular may not be systemically important, or may not be a systemically important institution, but it's nonetheless an institution of great importance. It has the largest portfolio of small business customers in Spain and enjoys the patronage of one of Spain's most influential institutions, Opus Dei. Its well-heeled members are among the bank's most important shareholders and investors, and they stand to lose a lot of money if a last-minute buyer is not found soon. This is an outcome that can no longer be discounted, especially after reports emerged just Thursday that senior officials of the ECB's, which is the European Central Bank's regulatory arm, the single supervisory mechanism, has warned the bank could be wound down if it fails to find a buyer. but the EU agency charged with overseeing bank failures later issued a statement saying that it never issues warnings about banks. Why? Because you'd constantly be issuing warnings because they're all insolvent? Maybe. But the damage has already been done, and it is not just Opus Dei or Popular's thousands of long-suffering retail investors that could end up paying a heavy price. Popular's investors also include PIMCO, one of the world's largest asset managers, which owned 279 million euros worth of Popular's outstanding 1.25 billion of face value in AT1 bonds at the end of March, making it by far the largest holder at the time. These AT1 bonds go by another more familiar name, contingent convertible bonds, also known as which I discussed recently about the same bank, COCO bonds. These are financial instruments that pay high coupons because they come with high risk, designed as they are to absorb losses at times of distress by converting to equity or being written down when the lender's capital ratio falls below a certain point. Popular's second batch of COCOs, worth 750 million, dropped to 59 cents on the euro, the lowest point ever reached by a bank COCO bond, period, ever. Sorry to say this for a million times, but we're supposed to have been economic recovery as everything's great. Those days are long gone. That was 2008, 9, 10. We're way past that. This is 2018, son. Therefore, why would that be? What was that? The lowest point ever reached by a bank COCO bond. Nothing to be concerned about, is it? Banks are fine. They're solvent, right? They're always solvent. Or are they pretend solvent until someone cracks open the books? So far, despite their high-risk nature, no AT1 bond has ever been bailed in. But Popular, as a mid-sized bank that has arguably exhausted all its possibilities of resurrection, is in a terribly weak position. It would be the first triggering of an AT1, Lloyd Harris, an analyst at Old Mutual, told the Financial Times. These types of events are more likely for Popular than they ever were for Deutsche Bank, he added, referring to Deutsche Bank's COCOs that got trampled last year. If a triggering occurs, PIMCO and other investors would take a hit. If Popular would wound down, many more wealthy global investors, particularly in Latin America, would also be hit hard. They include the Luxic, Chile's richest family, which bought 3% of Popular shares at the beginning of May in an operation then valued at 87 million euros. It's now worth a little over half of that. Ooh, sorry. Can I just stop for a second? Listen, if you would have took 87 million euros, I got a better one for you. You put in 87 and now it's worth a little over half than that. I got a better one for you. If you would have took half of that 87 and put it into any of the cryptos around the same exact time you got into this, beginning of May, like very first part of May, and rode that horse up to cryptocurrencies, you would have doubled your money easily, more than doubled it. But you want to play games in the banksters' system, fraudulent, paper-pushing system, debt-based, borrowing-based nonsense. So we look at cryptocurrencies, and there's none of that. This is a beautiful thing. That's why these things are going to go crazy every month or so. Every couple weeks, there'll be a new high, etc., like there seems to be now. Next year, probably be insane levels like we keep hearing from the Webbot on the prices of those things, those cryptos. So I just had to rub that in to the banksters and those who want to play that game and get into that system. Good luck. You're going to get bailed in, potentially, or you're an investor in their bonds. Oh, you just got screwed. 87 mil, don't worry about it. Here's a little over half. How'd that work out for you? Another investor that stands to lose big time is up. Oh, I thought I was going to say Hugo Salinas Price. Nope. Is the Mexican billionaire Antonio del Valle, who invested $450 million in Popular back in 2013. Well, that was probably when their stocks were worth, 10, 12, $15 or euros. Now it's worth pennies. How much do you think he lost? And speaking of cryptos again, in 2013, had this guy spent, forget the whole 450 million thing. Take a zero off the end of that. Let's just make it 45 mil. In 2013, Bitcoin, pennies, and $2 and that kind of thing. Yeah, listen. Now 2013, I take that back. Bitcoin did shoot up and then come back down. It wasn't pennies and $2, but nonetheless, you put in 45 million then, and then what it's worth today. Whoa. In recent weeks, rumors have abounded that a loose consortium of Latin American investors is planning to take over the bank once its share price has tanked low enough. But for the moment, they are just rumors. By now, the only bank that appears to still have a passing interest in buying Popular is Spain's biggest bank, Santander, which would like nothing more than to get its hands on Popular's retail business, in particular, the massive portfolio of small business clients that they have. But for that to happen, Popular's over 30 billion euros of impaired real estate assets would have to be neutralized, almost certainly involving taxpayer funds bailout. Something would also have to be done to nullify the class action lawsuits mushrooming on the other side of the Atlantic over Popular's alleged misleading of investors in the lead up to its last capital expansion in 2016. What's the matter with these investors that bought the capital expansion hype? Don't these people read wolfstreet.com? I concur. The big question is whether the ECB and the European Commission would lend their approval to such a takeover, especially if billions of euros of public funds are required, having just awarded Italy's Monte dei Paschi bank a last-minute reprieve, prompting accusations that even banks that are not too big to fail are still getting bailed out in Europe 10 years after the financial crisis. They may feel that the time has finally come to test out the EU's bail-in law. And if they do, a lot of investors, rather than taxpayers, could end up losing their shirts, which would be a welcome change, while market players may even begin questioning just how safe Spain's saved banking system really is. I've said this before, and I'm going to continue saying it. As people, investors, etc., this is the norm. This is the norm. Monte dei Paschi, Italian bank, insolvent. Spain's sixth largest bank, insolvent. Deutsche Bank, it's pretty much insolvent too, even though they try to pretend like it's not. And when people start losing, they're going to see these charts of the cryptocurrencies, and they're going to be sick to their stomach and say, why didn't I put my effing money into this nonsense? Because even this nonsense is superior to real life bankster investments, buy some shares, buy some bonds. This thing could have done that if my money was in there. Oh my God, the amount of money I lost in this horrible investment in this bank's bonds. What's left over if I put into those things back then? Oh my God, I would have got all my money back and then some. Did I mention to you already? Yes, I did. CEO of Coinbase, we are getting 40,000 new signups per day at Coinbase. I want to show you something real quick. List of crypto exchanges by volume. Is that the one? No. By volume. Actually, yeah, this could be it. This changes from day to day. This is definitely the site. So let me show you this. I just want to share something with you. And I don't know how to pronounce this. Poloniex, I guess, Poloniex. Currently, total trading volume, 87 million Bitcoin. Kraken, 36 million. Bittrex, 35 million. Okay. OKCoin, it's a Chinese one, for sure, 27 million. The other day when I looked in here, Kraken was at the top by far, by the way. And it all matters where stuff's flowing. So bottom line is what I'm showing you. The top three here. Do you see Coinbase anywhere on here? I'm going to hit, Control F to do a find. Coinbase. Oh, there it is. 179 days. Which, what does that mean? What is last update? Okay, so this is not current. This can't be current. This cannot be current. 179 days ago. So Coinbase is not updating, apparently, the amount of volume on its site. So the thing I really wanted to show you, I cannot accurately do. But I can assure you Coinbase is not even kind of doing the volume that Kraken and Poloniex, etc. are doing on cryptos. And if they, at Coinbase, are getting 40,000 signups in one day, which their CEO said about a week ago, how many is Poloniex getting? How many is Kraken getting? How many is Bittrex getting? OKCoin, Bitfinex, all these. How many are they getting? There is a flood of people coming in, and they're dying to play the game, and they're waiting on tier 3 or whatever verification, this verification, that verification. They're dying. I got money. I want to put it in here. Please let me play. Not until you're verified. You know when you call? Thank you for calling the doctor's office, or, the IRS. You are number 13 in line. Estimated time is 15 minutes. Please hold, right? This is what that phone call would go like on one of these exchanges. Hi, thank you for calling Kraken.com. You are 147,000th in line on the phone currently. Not really the phone, but actually, where do I stand in getting a tier 3 level verified? 15 light years. What the 15 light years? The good news is, at least on Kraken, if you look at the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 stuff, it appears that if you can get the cryptos over onto their platform, you can still trade them and swap them and sell them for USD and then hold on to them, and then, the market's going to go down. Let me see if I can play that. Market goes down. Now I want to buy some cryptos. Market goes back up. As long as you keep it in the account, it doesn't matter. Tier 2, tier 3, doesn't matter. It's when you try to move the cash out is when it matters. So what you could do, and I was telling my neighbor friend over here, David, just today, we were talking about cryptos, and he's like, I'm fully authorized on Coinbase. I'm good to go. It's Kraken that I'm not, because he's talking about trading some other ones. He's wanting to, look at basically some of the altcoins. And I said, well, you can't do the altcoins, except the only ones you got at Coinbase is, of course, Bitcoin, which is not an altcoin, but Bitcoin. Ethereum is an altcoin, and I think Litecoin, another altcoin that you can trade there. But that's it. He's thinking, well, I want to get into some other ones. So I told him, well, as long as you transfer Bitcoin over to Kraken, which you have an address there you can get, like a wallet address right there on your account, transfer it over there, trade, swap, whatever you got, which you can't really swap over there, but you can do a sell order, then do a buy order on some other crypto, whatever, and then leave it over there and play the game. And then when you're done, if you want to cash out, since you're not tier 3 verified yet at Kraken, ship that coin, convert whatever coin you're playing with and do a sell order, take the cash, do a buy order on Bitcoin or Ethereum, send it back over to Coinbase, and then do an actual sell order there for cash, USD, and then transfer that in your bank account. That's possible. And the good news is no one should be really trying to do that right now, trying to cash out. You don't want to cash out. You want to move the coins around, do stuff, great, but you don't want to cash out yet. Not yet, my friends. The getting hasn't been good enough yet, my friends. Trust me. But we shall see. I'm still waiting for a pullback myself on some of these cryptos to maybe get in try to time it and get in on some of the alts. But again, timing, magic 8 ball, crystal ball. Speaking of magic 8 ball, is there going to be a pullback on the cryptos in the near future? You may rely on it. Okay, I guess I will sit on the side with a little bit of cash on standby. Magic 8 Ball said so. Take care. On to the next video.